Hey everybody, it's NoodleDog. Today we're doing another video, and this time I'm going to be doing some character concepts. So, I may have talked about this in one of my artist block episodes, but oftentimes when I'm trying to come up with new projects and stuff like that, I decide to do character concepts and designs, and usually that's where my art falls under. I fall under concept art and a couple other things mainly, because that's just kind of what attracts me. And part of the reason why I do concept art is because I like seeing something unfold. I like seeing things work and how they eventually come together. And so with this series, I'm going to be showing you guys my animation progression. I don't know how long it's going to take. Hell, if it takes the whole year, we're going to try to finish it before next year. I hope I do. But for the time being, I've got a blank canvas, as you can see, and I'm in the top right corner. And so I'm just going to start. I'm going to be working on one of my favorite characters. You may have seen him before. This guy. He should be up on the screen right there. Put him on the screen, future me. But I'm going to be drawing my persona. I guess you'd call him a persona. Volkner. Volkner is really fun to work with. So I'm just going to get right into it. So I'm going to talk about some lore bits too, because I know that people don't really know anything about him or who he is or what's going on with him. So let me try to explain while I have your attention. So Volkner is a prince. He's a prince from a far off planet called Blackreach. Blackreach is given the name because his parents, which is the original generation of his kind, they originally settled on the planet after a war that was a couple 100,000 of years, and as a result, they landed on the planet and they decided that they were going to settle there. They were going to make a nation, a kingdom, and so they did. So they made one, and what happened was they decided to have children. And for context's sake, I'm just gonna kind of skip over it because I'll talk about it a little bit more in a little bit. But Volkner was born as the first of triplets, and not like that. He was born the first of triplets, and he is the oldest of his siblings. So Volkner is pretty cool. He's pretty well known in his community and whatnot. And Volkner is, the strongest of the three. He was born, I guess you would call it July, somewhere in that area. So he has the same birth date as I, because of course he's a character of mine. Oh my god, shut up, YouTube. YouTube just had had a notification on Windows, and I need to unsync that because I don't know why it does that. But I digress. So after a while, he started out short. You see what he looks like now, as far as what he looks like. Volkner is a really big character. You see, like, at least in videos, the icon that I use, he's pretty muscular. He's really buff, and his kind are usually they're artisans and warriors for the most part. So seeing that is actually not very surprising. So when I draw Volkner, I often draw him as like really muscular because he's a big dude. He's really huge. As you can see, he's got some really big muscles going on right now. There we go. If you're having trouble with muscles, by the way, check out one of my other videos. I did a upper body tutorial. I'm going to get to the lower body one in a couple of weeks. I swear to God I will. But until then, I feel as if this will have to be a quick little abbreviation, if you will. So, let's see. Volkner, like I said, he was the first of 3 kids, and they were all born the same day. They were just whatever. His kind, elder hounds is what they are. Elder hounds are a group of, I guess you can consider them before. They're like the creatures that came before. So, in this world, elder hounds and other beasts like dragons and angels and stuff like that, they came before what they would, I guess you would say what they would be. What's a good way to describe it? They're like ancestors, I guess you could say. They're ancestors in a sense that they came first. They usually populated the area of whatever, and they're known for immense power. I guess you would consider them yokai in a sense. Not yokai. cryptids. You can consider them cryptids, but they're a lot more powerful than cryptids. So anything that you consider that will be possibly a remnant of that or whatever. But they were created, at least in the Elder Hound's case, they were created at the forefront of the universe. So they were created with the Big Bang. They were created then, and they were created out of the remnants of the power that exploded out forward, and them and the other creatures immediately, because there was like no other form of, like, I guess you could say, no other form of a purchase in the land, in the world, or whatever, they all decided to like skedaddle, and they all started trying to search for power. And what happened with Volkner's family is, the Elder Hounds, they decided that they were going to try to find a way out and get out as fast as they can so they could find some land or whatever. And, you know, to them, time is no concept, because they're literally the magic that the universe created. They're literally like primordial beings. And while there is the elder beings and the elderkin, who are all these big creatures, these people of immense power, there's also the eldritch beasts, these monsters of horror, which are kind of Lovecraftian in their being. So if you know anything about eldritch beings, you know that they're like impossibly disgusting, and they're horrific when they look. You can't look at them or else they'll physically kill you, and a bunch of other things like that. And part of the thing is elder beings, since they're made of a similar, just less destructive magic, they can see these creatures, and they rival them. But to be honest, the eldritch beings kind of kill each other anyway, because they don't care. Hold on, I gotta go. Oh, my rice is cooking. Okay. Sorry. That was a problem. Okay. Man, I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to, I was making rice for work tomorrow. We have an event going on at work, and I wanted to do something nice for my coworkers, so I'm making fried rice tomorrow. So look at that. That's pretty cool. But okay, so where was I? I believe I was at the fact that elder hounds and other creatures like that are able to see these beasts, and they fight them. And you could argue that yes, most of these creatures don't really do anything to be fought, because all they do is just kind of go around and do whatever they want. That's the problem too, because of course if you're doing whatever you want and you're just doing it indiscriminately, you're bound to find creatures that are of similar power to you and don't want to be bothered, and you're just going to do it anyway. And of course that's what happened with Volkner's people. They decided at one point, the eldritch beings, that they just kind of want to just cause some mess, and as a result, they started causing mess and mayhem, and they kind of just, the elder hounds fought these creatures. They fought them very valiantly, and they fought them for hundreds of thousands of years. They fought them. They couldn't find a place to live, and eventually got to the point where they were at their wits' end, and they found one place in what is called the Stellar Junkyard Galaxy. And seeing that this was their only means of escape, they decided that this would be their best way to stand and fight, and they enter the galaxy and they start fighting. They find out later that eldritch beings in this universe have a particular aversion to galaxies of starlight, just because it's not deep space where they're able to freely move around. Because these creatures get massive. They can get as big as galaxies, and eldritch beings can fight elderkin, and they can take them out, or however you want to do it. But for the most part, elder hounds and the like, they usually try to tend to their own business unless they absolutely have to. And so that happens, and they get kind of trapped in this area, and they have to kind of stand and fight. Now they have allies in the form of sea dragons, which are they eventually become sea dragons, but they find allies in these creatures and other creatures like sea dragons and a couple other types of creatures, and they decide to do a final stand. And as a result, they they stand, they fight, and they happen upon this fire, this flame that is they call it the Undying Flame, which is what they I wouldn't say they worship, but it's what kind of tethers them to this world, to this universe, and gives them this immense power. So I believe one day, I think it was like, I'm trying to remember the lore myself because I wrote it down somewhere. But basically what happens is, at one point in that lore, legend has it, or more reality has it, that Volkner's father Magnus eventually finds the Undying Flame. It's a sparkling blue flame that is a remnant and one of the final remnants of the universe's unending power. And it's one of those things that's like, it never dies out. You know how like we have the eternal flame or something like that? It's that kind of thing. Magnus is compelled to touch it, and when he touches it, he feels the all-powerful energy flowing through it, and it empowers him. And although they're insanely strong, the flame, once tethered to it, gives the Elder Hounds the ability to resist death, sustain after death, so they can die and they can come back to life, and a couple other things. And sorry about that, put that there. And Jesus Christ. And the thing with that is they become stronger, and they become stronger as they get older. They're able to control more magic and a whole lot of other things. And the Undying Flame is the reason because of that. So after their fight, they become strengthened. I should say that these guys are kind of resourceful because they end up learning how to make weapons out of meteorites. So there's a lot of stuff. It's just magic, okay? Just bear with it. But hold on, I gotta figure out how to do a mustache, how to do a beard like Volkner's beard. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I can just kind of like bring it like that. But okay, so long story short, let's TLDR this because it's getting kind of long. But they managed to fight off and kill the giant beast. I have I made a print of it. I'm making some more. So if you guys are interested in that and you want to buy one, feel free to let me know, and I'll let you guys. I'll put you on like a wait list, and I can try to make some more. So because I'm making some this summer, and it's probably my favorite printmaking piece of all time. So check me out. And so eventually that happens, and as a result, they settle. Them and the Sea Dragons become honorary allies, and as a result, Blackreach lives pretty happily. Magnus and his wife, or his second in command, Nora, they become wed, and they become the first to officially have children after they feel it's safe to even have children in this world, this timeline. And they're beings of magic. They have to basically force themselves into physical bodies. So when they hold on, I'm trying to make sure that the muzzle's right. I think I gotta make it longer. Yeah, make it longer because this muzzle's actually pretty long. There we go. There we go. And so that's what happens, and eventually they have children in the form of Volkner and his siblings Avalon and Anselm. So they eventually take that, and they become the princes and princesses, of Blackreach. And years later, Volkner decides that he's had enough of living on Blackreach, and he decides to go off, and his brother and sister decide to tag along. And that's the basics of the story. Now, there's a lot of things I've kind of like skipped over, and I'm trying to get this right, but we're gonna get it right eventually. So just bear with me. We'll talk in turn for the time being. So let's see. So that doesn't seem right. No, that was right. I think it was right. I have to question myself sometimes because I'm not sure if I'm doing a really good job with drawing. So forgive me if this is kind of boring. But I had there's a couple of things to work on as far as this stuff is concerned. And so This particular animation piece is actually, it has something to do with, god damn, I forgot what it's called. It has something to do with how Volkner got some of the scars on his body, mainly the ones on his eye, on his, left eye. I should say that Elderhounds they heal pretty rapidly. They have kind of like Wolverine, like, oh Jesus, they have Wolverine-like healing. Ew, looking like Squidward. There we go. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Whatever, we're just gonna make a big circle. But they have bodies, they have a healing factor like that, but the only thing that ruins that is black magic, which is why, which is what Eldritch beings are usually known for being really adept at. And it's the only known thing that can kill them fully. And even if they decide they come back from said black magic trauma, oftentimes the biggest thing is they become permanently scarred, even from subsequent lives to come, which is why Volkner has some of the scars he has on his body, and that's something that that every hound is very fearful of. Not fearful of necessarily the spells, the scars, but the spells that come from the creatures and how bad it is. So that's usually how we deal with that here. Okay, I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna end this video in a little bit because it's going on 20 minutes, and I want to make sure that that it's good. I want to make sure that I can post this for you guys when I can, so it can work. And I appreciate you guys for watching this video, because it does help a hell of a lot, because I get to talk to you guys about what's been going on in me and a bunch of other things. So I think I'm gonna end the video right here. I'm gonna make this a series. If you guys like the video, comment, subscribe, the works. You know, I really appreciate all of that, all of your views, everything is really appreciated. I'm gonna continue talking in the next video about Volkner. I'm gonna get actually more into him, because usually nobody really knows the lore behind the creature. So first the creature, then him. Okay, so I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.